How was it like when you were choosing your career?
So when I was doing my options.
Yes.
Oof, well, you're asking me to go back quite a long time.
I guess at that point I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I guess I sort of chose things that I was interested in.
It was difficult because it was difficult when choosing my career because my passion really was in filmmaking, but my parents were putting pressure on me to pursue a more academic path. So I studied engineering for many years and only really took up filmmaking after university.
There wasn't a lot of support or guidance around, so I think I maybe had like one careers interview, and that was it. And kind of was encouraged to take, not necessarily encouraged to do what I wanted to do, but encouraged to do what the teachers maybe thought I should do. So I actually ended up changing one of my subjects, and one I chose that I kind of wish I hadn't chosen.
What I recollect from school days about careers was meeting a careers advisor who had a piece of paper in front of them saying, these are your GCSE predictions, so you could do careers in this. And I was advised by careers that with the grades I was going to get at GCSE, I should go into science, do science A-levels and maybe go into medicine or biochemistry or something like that. And being a bit young and naive at the time, I did that, and it was the biggest mistake I ever made. So I didn't get very good advice from my careers advisor. They predicted what I should do based on what they thought my details said, rather than asking me what I wanted to do and exploring that with me. So I didn't have great careers advice when I was at school.
Why did you choose the career that you chose?
I chose the career that I chose because it was the one that I really enjoyed. It was the one where my passion was. It was the one that I could imagine myself doing that work for no money. So it felt like if somebody would pay me to do this, and I believed eventually that somebody would, then that would be a dream job.
I did A-level science, chemistry, physics, biology, which I didn't do very well at, but nevertheless managed to get to university to study biochemistry, and worked hard for a little while and did very well, and then just caught myself asking the question, why am I doing this? I'm not interested in it at all, and I dropped out of university. No idea about a career, but what I realised was that when I was studying before, I was studying things that people told me to study that I didn't enjoy. Now I was studying something that I did enjoy, so I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, but I was studying something that I enjoyed. I did start to think then about, well, how am I going to earn enough money to buy a house, have a family, do normal adult stuff. I couldn't think of anything to do because I'd worked in media long enough to know that I didn't really feel that it was something I wanted to do full time. I just didn't have the drive for it. I knew how hard it was. I saw friends of mine succeed, but they succeeded because they just did that and nothing else. And I didn't have that drive. Funny enough, I have got that drive now, but I didn't then. And I thought, well, I've got a degree, I could become a teacher. Boo. I did teacher training, and when I finished my teacher training I said to myself, no, I'm not going to do this, I don't want to, I'm just not interested in it. But a friend I met on that course just invited me to do a bit of teaching at a place that they had got a job at, and I started teaching in a college called Southgate College, and I really enjoyed it. 16 to 19 year olds, giving them the benefit of my wisdom in terms of life experience and skills. And I realised that teaching was actually a very interesting profession, and so I kind of fell into it by accident. I didn't start teaching until I was 32. I did a lot of different jobs before that, But one thing I always said to myself, and I've always said it to other people since, is that it doesn't matter if you don't know what you want to do, as long as you do something. If you do something, you will meet people and other things will happen. And that would be why I ended up becoming a teacher.
Ooh, that's a good question. So I kind of didn't choose it. So my career, my actual background is I'm a nurse, and I'm a mental health nurse. So that's not in relation to the job that I'm doing now, but I chose that because I wanted to help people. It was suggested to me actually by a friend that I should maybe give it a go. I've got friends that have got mental health difficulties, so I had some experience in that arena, and I guess it just kind of all fell into place. But it wasn't what I set out to do. That was not what I thought I would do when I was younger.
Well, I think I don't believe in mistakes. I think that everything in life is kind of something that you can learn from. Some things you don't learn as much as from other things. I mean, if I did make a mistake, it was kind of taking the advice to study something that I wasn't passionate about. It's very hard at a young age, though, to know exactly what it is you want, so I can't say it's really a mistake. And if I hadn't studied those things, maybe I wouldn't have found something that I was so passionate about.
I wouldn't change anything about my career. The only thing really that I'm continuing to do is taking on new opportunities, continuing to develop myself personally, because that's really my biggest restrictions, my biggest challenges are my own personality and my own self-organisation, and it's those things that I need to continue to work on. But as to my past decisions, I'm very happy with how things have gone, even though I studied mechanical engineering all throughout university and didn't really study my passion at all. In the end, I knew that I could do that. I could study an academic subject and continue and take up my interest in filmmaking afterwards.
If you could give any advice to your younger self or any other young people, what would it be?
I think my main advice to people is, don't think that you're in some kind of race, that you feel under pressure all the time. You're always being told you've got to reach this level by this age, you've got to have done this by then, and if you don't do that, you're some kind of failure. This is rubbish. It isn't a race at all. What matters is that you invest your time in doing something about which you are passionate. So if you enjoy doing it, then you should pursue it.
To my younger self, I would say follow your heart, do what you're interested in, and don't feel pressure from other people to do what they think you should do.
And any advice towards any other people?
Pretty much the same thing. Follow your dreams.
Thank you.
No worries.
I really want to say that you should follow your passion. Everything okay? If I was going to give any advice to a young person or a younger version of myself, I really want to say follow your passion. I mean, that's what I did, and it's worked for me. But alongside your passion, you really need to have a very strong drive. You need to, so if you have a passion and you have a determination to make it happen, then you should follow that passion, because you need to believe, and you should believe that you can make it happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Whenever you're looking for a career, it's never going to be easy. Take it from me. I'm one of the people who is trying to go into a university. And at year 9 and 11, and even choosing anything, it's not of what you choose that will make you, that will define your whole life. It's what you do after it. Because whatever you choose, that's what you choose. But whatever you don't choose, that's something you're just going to miss out. So instead of thinking about the future, think one step at a time. And my advice to everyone who's having troubles trying to move forward, trying to find that one definition to a perfect life of knowing it step by step. Don't think like that. Don't think that you can be that person who will have a life perfectly with nothing going wrong, because that's utterly and truly wrong. Because once something goes wrong, and everything goes wrong in life, you won't have a plan B. And whenever you're feeling down for when you don't know what to do, or you're just contemplating if I should do that or I should do that, whichever choice you make, it will be the right choice, because one, you're doing it for yourself, and two, you just have to live one step at a time. Thank you.